Hello and welcome. I'm Al Barrows, and this is UFO Disclosure, the podcast that's meant to show an average person's reaction to all the UFO, UAP news from everywhere and anywhere. Today, I'll be talking about a second supposed and very controversial UFO landing during the iconic Rendlesham Forest incident. And for those of you that are not familiar with the Rendlesham Forest incident,
in 1980, something crazy happened in a forest near a US military base in England. Soldiers saw strange flashing lights deep in the woods. Some even claimed a triangular UFO had landed, with glowing symbols on the side. One officer says he touched it and got a message in binary code in his head. The object, silent, bright, fast, it flew away like nothing on Earth. The military tried to say it was just a lighthouse, really? But dozens of trained soldiers saw it with their own eyes. To this day, no one can explain it. That's why they call it the UK's Roswell.
Okay, so that was the Rendlesham incident back in 1980. And since then, there's been a lot of controversy over this second UFO landing, which I'd like to go into. This is an article from the online magazine Omni Logia, and it's entitled New Rendlesham Testimony Reveals Second UFO Landing and Disembarkation of Non-Human Beings. And this is what really got me interested in this second UFO landing. Just going to skim the article. It starts out by saying that the Rendlesham Forest incident is often referred to as Britain's Roswell, and it occurred in late December of 1980 near a U.S. Air Force base in Suffolk, England. Now, and this is what the controversy is all about, two U.S. Air Force security police officers claim to have witnessed a previously undisclosed UFO landing at another location during the famous Rendlesham incident in Britain. And according to them, the event involved non-human entities and was captured on military film before being systematically suppressed. These two U.S. Air Force security officers are Larry Warren and Steve Longero. They were both stationed at Bentwaters Air Force Base in December in 1980, and they were recently interviewed by Ross Coulthart on Reality Check. According to what Warren said, in addition to the widely reported forest encounter involving Sergeant Jim Peniston and John Burroughs, a large triangular craft had landed at Capel Green. That's a nearby location in a separate episode altogether. According to Warren, and I quote here, it was a triangular object about 6 meters across, rising to a round top. Warren said there was an amber red light on top that constantly shifted and changed. End quote. He described the craft as white, silent, and only 4.5 meters away. Warren emphasized that the object's shape seemed to defy conventional aerodynamics. And here's a picture of Warren. He's a bit older now. But the most shocking aspect to Warren's story is that he said entities emerged from this craft. Warren describes them as, quote, it was like part of the craft turned into a bubble on the ground, end quote. He described 3 humanoid figures with large black eyes resembling the so-called Greys. And it says here that although Warren's account was dismissed for decades, recent investigations have uncovered multiple witnesses supporting his story. Warren also recently passed a polygraph administered by renowned British examiner Pat Ryder, answering all questions successfully. The article includes a picture of the sculpture that's out at Bentwaters right now, commemorating the Rendlesham Forest incident. But one of the more astounding claims is that the incident was documented by military police. Quote, there were cameras, still film, and video cameras all in the area, end quote, Warren said. He added that British police also took photos, but all equipment was immediately confiscated by military officers. It says here that Warren also describes a systematic effort to suppress the event. confiscation of footage and equipment, threats to witnesses, and a multi-decade campaign of defamation. According to him, official reports on the Rendlesham Forest incident make no mention of the Capel Green landing. And the article also includes a picture of Dion Johnson, a filmmaker who made a documentary about this after investigating for 8 years. And he considers Warren's account credible and corroborated by multiple witnesses. Okay, so now I'd like to go to Ross Coulhart's interview with these two former U.S. Air Force security officers and the director of the documentary Capel Green, so that you can get a better sense of why there's so much controversy over their story of this second UFO landing at Rendlesham Forest.
And today I'm really pleased to have on the show for the first time Larry Warren and Steve Longero, both of whom were US Air Force security policemen who were on duty during those nights. And joining them is the producer-director of a new film called Capel Green, Dion Johnson. I'll give the audience a bit of background on the story before we go into the detail. So on the night of December the 26th, security personnel on patrol at the base spotted unusual bright lights descending into the adjacent forest, and it was initially mistaken as a downed aircraft. A team, including Sergeant Jim Peniston and Airman John Burrows, went into the woods to investigate, encountering a glowing triangular-shaped craft approximately 9 feet across and 6 feet high, enveloped in a yellow haze with multicoloured lights, a red light on top and blue lights below. Peniston claimed to have touched the craft, describing its surface as smooth like black glass, and he sketched what he observed were hieroglyphic-like markings. The encounter left them all disoriented, with some reporting time discrepancies and animal disturbances in the area. Now, the reason why I'm particularly interested to get both Larry Warren and Steve Longero onto the show is because for many, many years there have been bitter factions in the Rendlesham story, and I think it's time to clear the air.
So now I'd like to show Larry Warren speak. He's the former U.S. Air Force security officer who's the main witness, so that you can get a sense of who he is and how he speaks. I personally lost a lot of confidence once I heard him speak. Here we go.
Tell me what you witnessed, please.
Let me just fill you in a little bit, Ross, because, God bless you, you've been able to avoid this thing for so many years. I am the whistleblower of these events. No one else is at all. I'm honored to have my brother Steve on there. We went through security forces training school together. He was the room next door to me. We ate a lot of Domino's pizza back in 1980. Thing about Rendlesham is with the thing, and we did, Steve, remember the Domino's? I don't think it was anywhere else but Texas then, but how it has expanded. Think about, and I'm not going to, Holt has been more slanderous and horrendous. I mean, you've called me be on his behalf. Not saying you, who knows, you might think I am at the end of this, but I doubt it. Bottom line is, I'm honorably discharged veteran, just like my brother Steve's there. We were there to do a job. We didn't go to see flying saucers and all. Just a few things on what you said, and I'm not being rude to you, Ross. I'm just from New York, and we're pretty direct kind of people, like Australians, I find. Steve's from California. They do it in other ways. But the darndest thing is there is the first night with Peniston Burrows, Ed Kavanasak, who they ignore, and Bud Steffens, I think, was on the relay, had no knowledge of those events. The second night is a woman, a lieutenant named Bonnie Tamplin. The third night, you see, the thing is, the night Halt's out, a lot more happened. I never said Halt was in front of an alien anything. I did think I saw him in this clearing where we had the vehicles. We turned on our weapons to the Red Hats armorers. That was in the forest. Halt has been nothing. And I know he lost his wife. I have some humanity. I ain't going after no one. But this man has slandered my fan, not just him, by the way. The coffee clutch of ufology. They just jump on anything new. They don't do due diligence, don't look at anything. They read the insane ramblings of a woman from Leeds. But let me get back that they're on the third night, and there is only one third night, and that is the night that people were called out there to back up the original group. Halt was on a whole other side of that field. Myself, numerous others, not just me saying it. I mean, you got Sergeant Bastinza saying it. You have numerous others. You got Mike Verano saying it back.
So that's Larry Warren. Little difficult to follow, but he did make a point there towards the end that this incident, this second UFO landing, happened at a totally different part of the Rendlesham Forest. The Capel Green area apparently was nowhere near where Peniston and Burroughs saw that first UFO. Okay, so now I'm going to move to a part in the interview where Larry Warren gives a timeline as to what he saw exactly.
I want a nuts and bolts, full color, detailed description of what you saw on the ground. So please give me a full account right through to what you say included entities.
Well, I saw a triangular object that was about 20 feet across. It went up to a rounded kind of top. It had a reddish amber light at the top. It kept distorting and changing. It was snow white. It looks a little different in the movie. There were parts of it that were, it just didn't look aerodynamic. You didn't know what to think, and you weren't in the right kind of normal mindset like we are right now. And this being, thing, or whatever, I've never said alien,